Looks like we're live. Mark, take it away.
Hi there, my name is Mark Boas. I want to talk about a tool called the Hyperaudio Pad. I was working with Al Jazeera last year as part of the Open Night News Fellowship, and I was playing about with media and transcripts and came up with an idea which is called Hyperaudio. And it became a tool that I thought could be useful for journalists, but also for everyday people. If you imagine if you were a student and you wanted to put something together, a piece of media on the Amazon or something similar, how would you do that? And what I'm trying to do is make a tool that allows you to manipulate media and put together media as easily as you would a document in a word processor. So I'm going to show you a demo in the background here and tell you a little bit about Hyperaudio Pad. I just need to screen share. So here we have the Hyperaudio Pad in the background. The big picture is that we want to build a system to allow people to take video or audio and transcribe it, remix it, and publish the results, all on the web. The Hyperaudio Pad is at the heart of the whole system, and this is a tool that allows people to edit media and generally play about with it in a completely new way. The vision here is to allow people to edit media as easy as they would a document by having the audio part of any given piece of media represented by time-aligned text. That is to say, every word of the transcript is time-synced to the media. You'll be able to play certain parts very easily by clicking on the corresponding text. You'll be able to copy and paste text and take the media with it, define transitions and effects using natural language commands typed right into the pad, and even overlay, mix and fade additional audio tracks. You'll be able to create titles and on-screen text in the same way, and all this can be easily analyzed, understood, remixed, and taken apart by anybody. Feeding into the Hyperaudio Pad, we'll have a speech-to-text creator that allows people to get a first pass of a timed transcript where no transcript currently exists. We'll build a converter that can estimate word-level timings from subtitles and similar formats. We'll have another module that allows people to clean up transcripts coming from the converter or the speech-to-text creator. There'll also be several methods of embedding and publishing work, as well as an API for developers who want to create their own Hyperaudio applications.
Hey, Mark, just to interrupt here. What you're showing is an interface to a tool that's essentially like a Word document editor, and you're editing the words, you're copying and pasting them, and that's time linked to the video, and that automatically moves the video over. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, you've got your source files, if you like, on the left-hand side, and your target on the right-hand side, and you're just simply copying and pasting the media by referencing the transcript underneath. So you copy and paste the text over. And so that gives you a very good indication of the content and allows you to kind of go through it and put things together very efficiently and quickly. And in between those parts, you can actually apply effects in square brackets we've got at the moment and do things like fades and add audio and all the things you would do in a normal video editing package. So all in all, we have a loosely coupled system, which is great from our point of view. It means you can work on things in parallel and no one part depends on another. And it's also great for users because they can pick and choose what part of the system they want to use. As far as gigabit networks are concerned, I think we're really going to benefit from fast networks because the output from the Hyperaudio Pad is usually a combination of different media files, just references to start and stop points. The ability to pull these files in fast enough will help us ensure that the playback is nice and smooth. We also want to create a proper distributed system where browsers also act as servers and media is distributed among many clients. New technologies make it possible for us to create protocols like BitTorrent working from within the browser. So all the pieces are there. We have ways to communicate on arbitrary data channels. Open source BitTorrent clients have already been written in JavaScript. Ways of prioritizing BitTorrent traffic, for example, so we can effectively stream it. And we have emerging standards such as media fragments, which allow us to grab just a part of any given piece of web media. So to sum up, we're building a robust, scalable system that allows people to intuitively mix, deconstruct, and importantly, understand media and how it's put together. We're making the process frictionless and fun, which will encourage folks to become media literate at their own pace and from working and learning with others. Importantly, we will create a process that allows people to view source of media as easily as they can on a web page and copy and paste the parts they need to make their own media. This fosters both learning and collaboration. So who benefits from this? What's the impact? I think the impact could be huge. It works as a generic tool for putting together and remixing media. So there's probably many applications that we haven't yet thought of. Certainly, Hyperaudio and the Hyperaudio Pad can help people learning foreign languages, studying movies, politics. It could be used for journalistic pieces, screenwriting, prototyping movies, and other programs, and in general, media literacy. It also promotes a remix culture, which I personally feel is very important. We're not only representing the content using text, we're also allowing people to define transitions and effects through natural language type commands. The pad in which you're putting together your content is completely editable and often will end up looking like a movie script. The directions you give are both human and machine readable, and the whole thing acts as a kind of view source mechanism for media, which means any media distributed using the Hyperaudio platform will have these interactive and descriptive transcripts powering them, and these can of course be studied and altered. So it is a great tool for promoting media literacy. We're also seeing interest for custom solutions based on Hyperaudio from large organizations such as Al Jazeera. A month or so ago, we completed a project which I'd like to show you for Al Jazeera on the State of the Union. And we again used the hypertranscript here, but embedded to allow people to search through. Let me quickly show you an example. Terms, for example, here we have economy, and where it was referenced in all the different State of the Union addresses, and we can also even go and play back those results.
But we gather here knowing that there are millions of Americans whose hard work and dedication.
Actually, I found out yesterday that Al Jazeera are submitting this application to the Online Media Awards, and that Jim Glass, a professor responsible for MIT's OpenCourseWare, was really interested in using Hyperaudio and integrating it with their OpenCourseWare player. If you look at recent versions of Adobe Premiere, you'll notice that they're starting to realize the importance of representing video as text. They're now starting to include speech-to-text functionality, but it doesn't fit in well with their general video editing paradigm. Feels awkward, clumsily, tacked on, whereas our whole system is based around this premise, and so it feels natural to use text to manipulate content. Actually, not only is it very good representation of media content that enables people to easily get a feel of and search through media, but it also allows computers, specifically search algorithms, to pick up on that content. So it's great for the navigating, it's great for discovery, and of course we're completely web-based, so a wealth of content on YouTube or Internet Archive is just a URL away.
Mark,
so what we've built so far.
I wanted to make sure you hit the high notes of what do you hope to get done in the next couple months, and like what technical work still needs to be done, and how much money you're asking for.
Okay. Yeah. So we made a lot of progress in the last month or so. I've done some research into programmable networks, and we've built relationships with companies such as Al Jazeera and Internet Archive, who have recently agreed to collaborate closely. So this is a great way for us to attract support and content. We continue to work with Al Jazeera on custom Hyperaudio applications. We've got mechanisms now to convert subtitles to hypertranscripts, which is what we call the transcripts that power Hyperaudio. And we've got a growing community, a website, and the big news is we have just set up a non-profit in the US so we can collaborate closely with other non-profits and crucially receive funding. With the funding we received in the last round, we've taken the prototype to a near beta stage. So that's kind of where we are. What we need now is more funding so we can sprint and take the Hyperaudio Pad to beta, add to the solid base that we've built, add the features we want to add, and finish off something that we've greatly enjoyed making so far. We'll also be looking into programmable protocols, And maybe now it's time to set up user accounts and perhaps even a social element where users can follow other users and promote the best pieces by keeping track of views, that sort of thing. So specifically, we're looking for about $40,000 to fund 2 developers full-time for 2 months.
Got it. I was just about to interrupt and ask. So one last question. How do you see this fitting into students' learning experiences and into the curriculum, maybe?
I think it can fit into the curriculum in different ways, but if somebody is running a course, they could maybe select specific media that they want the student to learn about and to remix and so on. Or they could present some media that had already been done with Hyperaudio Pad and show them how that was put together, because the source will be there to show them. And maybe, along with the course material that the teacher will put out there, the student would also be encouraged to go and find their own source material to add to the program that they're making and get that transcribed and integrate that into the program.
Cool. Well, hey, we're 10 out of time here, but thank you very much. It's very cool stuff.
Okay, thanks for the opportunity.